Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be cyborgs.
Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be cyborgs. That was chapter 5.04 of my new novel, All the Humans Are Sleeping. It was also the theme of an interview that James Corbett, a Canadian journalist who lives in Japan, who was being interviewed on a German podcast, had to say about the emergence, or the possible emergence, of human with machines as technology inches its way into our life. Here's a clip from the interview.
Unfortunately, the deeper question is, I think what you're really driving at is, can we overcome the question of mediated reality at all? Or are we going to continue falling deeper and deeper and deeper into this conjunction with our devices that truly is transforming us? I mean, the term smartphone zombie might be some kind of funny term, but it speaks to a deeper truth. We are becoming some form of cyborg. And the only question is, when does that actually breach the skin barrier and get implanted into our brain? But it's no less a real thing just because that device is physically not actually in your body. It's usually on your body or within a few feet of your body anyway at this point. Wouldn't it just be so much easier if you could just implant it into your skull?
That interview was filmed at the end of February, and by coincidence, at the beginning of February, I was being interviewed by Croatian journalist Hrvoje Moric in Mexico, where we were talking about the exact same thing. Here's a clip.
I mean, yeah, you touch on a lot of the themes that I'm concerned with. I feel in many ways we're already halfway there in terms of being wired up. It's just not as visible. You know, people with their phones and social media and Internet of Things. You know, I can't believe, you know, I visit people, they have their Alexas and Google Echoes, and I mean, you name it. And so just the
rate of adoption is scary.
Do you see it? It's moving quickly.
I think it is. I mean, I personally, I still don't own an iPhone. I don't have a smartphone, and I partly because I found it annoying. You know,
Yeah.
I tried for a little while, and it just didn't serve me as far as, you know, like writing big books like this is very difficult, and the less distractions I have, and I easily can go off on tangents. So, but no, I find it very concerning that we're seeing the effect on children, where it's like trying to figure out a way to deal with, it's like constant dopamine hits and an environment that we never had. Like I had like 27 TV channels and they were all showing repeats. So I don't know. I'm concerned that, and then people kind of, I think, gaslight themselves a bit about, you know, like the power these devices are having over them and how often they're checking them and so forth. And then it almost becomes an extension where, you know, the next logical case is, well, you know, it's kind of inconvenient always having to lose my phone or take it out of my pocket. If I could just have an implant that allowed me to, you know, it's not going to take much to get people there.
So really the question is, can we find a happy medium with the media that we consume, or will it continue to consume us until we are part of the Borg hive mind? And, you know, that is the question. And again, sure. I don't have a wonderful pat solution to this. Yes, you should start leaving your phone at home when you can and start connecting with people more in the real world. But it's like talking to a brick wall at this point. I mean, yes, you could say that, but we know that people are going to continue scrolling their doom scrolling feeds. And what are they going to replace it with? Going back to talking to your neighbor outside on, you know, talking to people on a sunny day? No, of course not. So until we have some sort of better solution to that, what is the solution? And I'm all ears, by the way. If you have any ideas on that, I want to hear them.
Well, James, you wanted a solution, and Hrvoje asked me the exact same question. He asked me for a solution, and here was my answer.
But yeah, you just sort of, how do you see the road ahead for the world, you know, in Canada, in terms of the new normal that we're living now? Again, they want to bring back COVID 2.0 with the bird flu. And then, of course, as you mentioned, with the smartphones and you know, this metaverse coming in.
And then maybe an over dependency on AI is another concern.
And possibly a third world war, as you mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably the last resort, but it's it's funny because if they really just wanted to wipe us all out, I think they could probably just do it. It's like, you ever see a cat with a mouse and they just don't want to just eat the thing? They play with it a lot. And sometimes they won't even kill it. So I try not to psychoanalyze psychopaths too much because it's disturbing. But my feeling generally, I have a lot of faith in humans. And that's a lot of what gets covered in that story, especially from, ironically, the point of view of the robot. The robot ended up becoming most people's favorite character in the story because his admiration for humans. And it's almost, he becomes like a reflection of what we really are, even though we are trying to become him. It's almost like in some ways humans feel they want to change places with technology. And then, because this is different than the Matrix. Like in the Matrix, the robots take over the world and want to wipe out humanity. In this one, humanity is almost trying to wipe out itself, and the robots are trying to take care of them. Because the robots have envy the humans to some degree. So personally, I think human nature will prevail. And I think in a lot of ways, like I've even had dealing this with young people I know that where they have these addictions to being online constantly, whether it's social media or video games or so forth. And it's almost like you have to have faith that they're human enough that this isn't going to be really attractive to them, and that you don't even have to fight with them about it. You just have to give them the alternatives. And I think, the best thing we can do for almost everyone is just try to live our own life to the fullest, do what we really want. Like, that's why I wrote these books. I've been writing rough drafts of novels for like 20 years. I have like stuff in a fire safe, handwritten, the stacks of it. And when this happened, one of the reasons I wrote it was because I wanted to do my part to try to stop it and make people aware. The other was I didn't want to die without having done a book. I didn't know if I was going to end up in a concentration camp, a forced injection, dragged off somewhere. So I think in a lot of ways, I heard two guys talking about this the other day. They were saying, we're all awake. We've taken the red pill, but I'm worried about all my neighbors and stuff. But don't worry about them. Go live your life to the fullest. Don't try to convert them or change them. Just go do amazing things with your life and show how it is to be a real human being instead of a cyborg. And I just don't see us. Some people are going to join the Boer collective and whatever, but some people are going to go get a shot and get themselves killed. I think about 10 million people did that already. And it's sad, but it's nothing I can do about it. And I think the best thing we can do is just really just try to be full human beings.
I think that's a strong point, and I've been thinking and discussing that, where that's actually a better way to wake people up, is not, coming to them with the documents and trying to convert them, but living an amazing life. And they're going to be like, previously they thought you were that weird conspiracy guy, and now they see you and you're like, physically fit, financially successful, happy, joyful. Those are just examples, right? And so, then they'll be thinking, okay, he's not so crazy. Okay, what's going on there, right?
Yeah, and then also you can have a happy family. Yeah. I mean, that's that's abnormal now.
I think that's the most important.
You can have a community, friends, people you like. So if they see you having all that, and they're sitting there stuck with their technology in a isolated situation, contemplating whether they need to have a sex change and implants wired into their brain. I mean, it's like, I don't think the other side has that potential. And then,
There you go. I'll leave links to both interviews in the description below. Plus, I'll leave a link to my new novel, All the Humans Are Sleeping, which I have right here, which deals with the very subjects we were discussing. In this story, we have a little girl. Well, she's not that little, she's a teenager. And, people battle with teenagers with their cell phones and their tech and wanting a Bluetooth. Well, she doesn't want any of that. She wants implants put into her head, into her spine, and she wants to be connected directly to the metaverse. So if you think parents have problems today, let's give it about 15 years and see what happens. So that's a very big theme in this story. It was released last year in December, and already the testimonials are piling up. Here's a recent one that was just posted on Amazon.Canada. 5 stars, Poetry and Hardware, Truth and Reality. Will you like this book? Did you like The Matrix? Matrix meets Manitoba, and then we are off to Europe. This book is a winner in my opinion. captures so much of the undercurrents now surging in all of our lives. Some think of humanity as a cancer upon the earth. This is the end result of those who are in control and hold those views. Thank you, John, for this wake-up call. Looking forward to the sequels. So if that got your interest, you can head over to allthehumansaresleeping.com, where you can get a free copy of the first, I think it's like the first, it's like you get a lot of the book, like the first third of the book at least. Or you can get the first 2 hours of the audiobook version. Or, well, that's all you can, well, then the other thing you can do, which I much appreciate, and it's like #1 recommendation, is you can buy the book. But you can go there and take the free sample first, or just go ahead and get the paperback version, especially if you're not so much into the implants and all that. Analog paper, it's kind of the opposite. But like I said, it's available in audiobook format and ebook format. So head on over to All the Humans Are Sleeping, and I'll see you next time. Thank you very much.